Take number 3. Okay, this is my second video, not 3, second video. Right now, we're going to talk about my spirituality out here in the West, kind of. So, again, I am from the East Coast. I am from North Carolina. The things that I experience there are very different to what the energy is out here. It is kind of similar because the East and the West kind of meet in the middle here. So there is an overlap, but a lot of the flora, not fauna, the flora I don't really recognize out here. It's very foreign. So the energy is different than what it is back home. So let's talk about the things that I feel. So I kind of communicate with spirits, but not in the way that most people do. I don't use a Ouija board or an Ouija board. If you know, you know. I don't really use, well, I don't use them, period. Never have, never will. I don't use pendulums. I've tried to do that before. I don't really feel that. I've kind of read flames. Like, I'll have a flame that'll be stock still, and I'll talk to it, and then it either flickers to the right for a yes or the no. So left to a no. I've done that a couple of times, but mainly I read things through an energy. And what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Today, we were at a trading post, and I wanted a buffalo jaw. It was only $10. It was the last one they had. And I really wanted one from around here because there were skulls, and I wanted to paint one because a lot of the skulls that I was finding had like either 1 or 2 bullet holes right between the eyes, and that just, I don't know, it was just something sad. I didn't like it because there was nothing that said if it was ethical or not, and that pissed me off. So I wanted to take the skull or a bone to honor the animal, and I picked up the jaw, and I really wanted to get it. But I felt like a pressure in my head, almost like I was forming a headache, but it wasn't painful. And I felt this before when I have really wanted something. Hold on. But when I've really wanted something, but something tells me not to get it. Do I know what it is? No. Could be my ancestors, could be the spirit of the animal itself. But it said no. The exact same thing happened at the exact same place. I was gonna get a little bobcat tail. Picked it up. It also said no. So I didn't do that. But what I did do, I bought fossils. There was a fossil place nearby. This is the first fossil I bought. Now, that wasn't here. It was at the Black Hills Institute of Geology that I talked about in my last video. But this is a mosasaur tooth. Now, what I like about this is it explains where it came from. This came from Morocco, so not the Black Hills region. I'm sorry. I got a dry throat. You're gonna have to deal with it. I'm not refilming this video, so you're gonna have to deal with it. But the mosasaur and I have had a weird connection. A lot of the times, you've heard me talk about dancing back at home. I dance to conjure rain. What you also may not know about me, because I've not really talked about it, I have Cherokee blood in me. I'm still trying to do the research of figuring out my family and everything. But I know somewhere in the files, I've got Cherokee. And so I've always felt a connection to dance, and I dance with the weather. So when we have like a period of drought, like there's no water at all, I will go out to the field and I will ask the atmosphere, and I will dance. I will ask the spirits and dance. And a lot of the times, I don't really have anything in mind. I'm just dancing with my headphones in. But since December, there have been two main presences, I'll say. I have felt a couple more recently, but there are two main presences. Number one, the first one that came through, was the Mosasaur. I could feel it and kind of I guess you could say imagine, but it's like I'm actually seeing the spirit, if that makes sense. Now, to me, it kind of appears as like a goldenish, but it's something I see in my mind's eye. It's not like I'm seeing something actually tangible. It's just like a brief flicker of what I see. You can call it imagination all you want. All you need to know and respect is that this is my belief, and I'm not hurting no one. But the Mosasaur will move with me, like around me, and it helps me to conjure the water. Because I can even sense it in the air. I can feel that warping around me. Now, it's nothing crazy. It's not like the wind's going and I can feel like a vortex forming around. No, it's nothing like that. It's very subtle. And it's the same way with magic in general, at least for me. It's very subtle. But I'm super excited about having a Mosasaur tooth. I have another one, but you'll have to wait until I get home because it's packaged up. It's very secure, so I'm not getting it out. The man was super cool too. It's actually where I got these next fossils that I'll talk to you about, but he was so cool. He actually knew the people who recovered the Sioux Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. And he was telling me more about like the Mosasaur. He said that he has a personal, what was it? An ammonite skeleton, fossil, that has healed wounds from a young Mosasaur. So that's awesome. So he was super cool. But what I plan to do with this is I have a small little pouch here that a keychain I bought came in. And I'm going to put this in here to carry as a talisman of protection. And also for when I dance, so I have a further connection to the creature. The other spirit I felt has been Basilosaurus. And more recently, the Orca, which I have not made a video on. I'm planning to do that. But the Orca and the humpback whale, I've also felt out there. Never at the same time, I'll note that, but I do feel them. So anyway, let's talk about these fossils. Now, I'm not going to pour all of them out, because again, we're going to do a haul, a huge haul. I might have to separate it in a few videos, but we're going to do that when I get home. But as a little taste, this was from that same place I got that other Mosasaur at, and this is a trilobite. And these are actual real fossils. They are not replicas whatsoever. And I got these in Custer City in South Dakota. And he had a whole pack. Like, there's a shark tooth in here. There's the stem of an ancient plant in here. There's petrified wood, a shark tooth. I don't know from what shark. But we'll go through that when I get home. I'm trying to think of something else. Can't really think of anything. But it's so interesting. It's kind of interesting to me that the Mosasaur has showed up in my life when I knew that I was going on this trip. So in December, that's when things were kind of starting to get set in stone. Sorry, my throat's just really dry. But in December, that's when things were kind of getting set in stone. We had talked about it, but this was like, for sure this was happening. That's when the Mosasaur started to show up. And the reason why that's interesting, if you don't know, is South Dakota and most of the Midwest and into Canada used to be under an ocean. This was called the Western Interior Seaway, and Mosasaurs used to live there. So I'm currently, well, not where I am right now, but I was at the Badlands, which was their home. Or part of their home. So that's super cool. Anyway, this is about 10 minutes long. I'm going to stop because my throat is... But I'll talk to you later. Alright, bye-bye.